My name is Kat Halushka, and I'm a co-founder of $1 Million Sisterhood.
My name is Kimberly Carson Richards, and I am a co-founder of the $1 Million Sisterhood. When I was little, I was pretty independent. My mom was a single mom, and so I can remember just spending a lot of time out in the neighborhood, running around with my friends, getting into trouble, and I really didn't like being told what to do. As I got older, my next kind of big milestone in life was that I actually became a mom at the age of 14. And that completely changed the course of my life versus most of my friends who were that age. After high school, I went to university. I got a diploma in sociology. It took me an extra year to finish university, and that's actually where I met my husband. And so I think that the really amazing thing about being a young mom was that I have been through a lot of situations where I had to be really resilient and I had to trust my own intuition and know that no matter how difficult the path, there would be one day where I would look back and realize how amazing it all was.
I was born and raised in Russia, and back then it was still USSR. We lived in a communal house back then, and you know what? I just didn't know anything better. For me as a child, it was the funnest time in the world. When I was 6, I was so eager to go to school. I just couldn't wait. And so when I finally got to school, I was head in the books. And the thing is, I had this charismatic character, you could say. All the adults loved me, and all the kids, not so much. And so I was asked to host just about every event in school and be an MC. And so it was a lot of fun until one day it wasn't, when I forgot my line and I said a word that someone whispered me in the ear, and it wasn't the right one. And I didn't know what I said, but the whole school started laughing at me. And that was the day I gave up public speaking for the next 20 years. When I was 19 and going into my IT college, learning programming, because I'm everything computer nerd and technology nerd, my parents told myself and my brother that they decided they're going to seek a better life. A year in, I realized that my education meant nothing. My diploma that I just spent 4 years working so hard earning in Russia didn't actually mean anything in Canada. Couldn't get a job, not the one I wanted anyway, but I decided I'm not going to give up. I decided I'm going to learn English, integrate myself into Canadian culture, and learn to be Canadian. What that meant is completely separating myself from the Russian community. What it taught me is resiliency. It taught me that I really can have anything and do anything I want in life. And that's when I decided I'm going to start my first business. Not until several years later, when I hosted hundreds of events, spoken on hundreds of stages, and several businesses that I built and sold, I decided that the community is really where you find friends, but also partners. And so it was yet another event that I came out to, one of the networking events for women. It sounded really intriguing, and I was, of course, late, just a little bit. So I went into my corner, retrieved, and decided I'm going to wait to talk to the organizers and the speakers.
And it was actually my very first event where I was sharing my story. And it was before, although I had done a lot of public speaking training, it was before I knew anything about how to really connect with my audience. So they didn't feel intimidated by my confidence or my story. And yeah, I remember Kat came in more than a tad late. And the door was off to the side, so it was very distracting. But I knew who she was. I had heard of her. I knew she ran a pretty influential networking organization in Edmonton here, and I wanted to connect with her and meet with her to see what kind of potential there could be. And from there, we started doing some masterminding, some girls' nights, just hanging out. But it was really as we started to connect through entrepreneurship and the struggles and kind of how lonely it can be. But it was like that one summer night, like a year ago already, where we connected over marshmallows. And so here we are, we're in my backyard. My husband was there, my daughter was there. We were cooking s'mores. And I kept burning them because we were getting so in deep into a conversation talking about creating a community for women entrepreneurs. And that was the night the $1 Million Sisterhood was born. So it was like over a round of s'mores, like literally like within 15 or 20 minutes, it was all of a sudden we had the name, we had the idea, we knew we wanted it to be a membership. And like literally like 2 weeks later, we were up and running.
So we started a speaking business. We started booking stages, but also teaching those entrepreneurial women how they can do the same, how they can host profitable events and become profitable speakers.
And all it takes is one moment where you put one foot outside of your comfort zone and you just take inspired action to create that momentum for yourself and for your business. So if nothing else, I say just feel the fear, do it anyway. Just like go for it. Step right out of the comfort zone, share your story. Know that there is one person who is waiting to hear what you have to say.
I'm Kat Halushka.
And I'm Kimberly Carson Richards, and
We are Mixximizers.